Brad.
Joseph.
How's it going?
Fabulous. How are you, man?
Doing well.
Doing great.
A little damp, a little sweaty.
As am I.
Yeah, but you know that's to be expected when you're hanging out in a storage unit in the middle of June. Mm-hmm. You know you're gonna get a little sweaty.
Absolutely. You gotta sweat hard, work hard, play hard, cocaine hard.
We're putting in hard work because we're talking about the sweatiest Martin Scorsese movie, Wolf of Wall Street.
Also the cocainiest.
The cocainiest. Is that true? I'd imagine. Yeah,
I'm sure someone could put up a fight.
Yeah, we'll have to do like a super cut of all the cocaine in Scorsese films.
Right. We'll have to. We got a clip.
Look at all that cocaine.
Yeah. So there's this many kilos in what's a Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, yeah.
It's really the only other one I can name.
Okay. Gangs of New York.
I have not seen it, but I know it's in Scorsese's.
Yep.
I believe it's also like 3 hours long.
It is, yeah. He's famous for his long movies.
Yes.
You know, The Irishman, famously like 4 hours or something like that.
Did you watch The Irishman?
I didn't watch The Irishman.
I did not either. I could not. I just was like, it's too long. They're so old.
Yeah, I wasn't too into it. I don't know.
They did a movie years ago called Righteous Kill. It was Pacino and De Niro. And the only reason I know about it is because professional skateboarder / TV show host Rob Dyrdek was in it.
Really?
Yes. Only reason I know that is because he came on back in the day. There was a show called Chelsea Lately, a talk show, and he was a guest on it one night promoting it. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I play like a pimp," and then he like gets murdered in it at some point. I was like, "Oh wow,
that's the role you'd expect for Rob Dyrdek to be in a movie." A pimp who gets killed.
Exactly, a straight up thug, the host of Ridiculousness.
The 45-year-old, 15-year-old.
I can't talk shit though. I feel like a 30-year-old, 15-year-old.
We all get there sometime. Brett, are you a fan of this movie? What's your relationship like with this movie?
So I recall like when it came out, I was like, oh, this looks rather interesting.
Yeah.
I will see it. I like DiCaprio for acting reasons. His personal life, questionable, but not my business. And it was like, yeah, I'm sold. Saw it. Was like, yeah, this is a really good movie. Yeah. And then the rest of the world seemed to agree.
Yeah, this was one of those movies. I remember when it was coming out. It was like everybody was like, big into this. They were like, everyone was really excited. Like,
it was the moment for a moment. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, it's like like sometimes you see a movie coming out and you think like, oh, only like film people are going to be into this movie. This is one of those movies that like even people who don't really know Scorsese or don't really care. I think just because of like the sex and drugs like angle of it, people were like,
it's a draw. It's there's something for everyone.
Yeah, something for every person. Do you like watching guys snort cocaine out of assholes? You'll like this movie.
I can't say I've ever seen it until this movie.
Yeah,
honestly.
I gotta say, you're not hanging out in the right places, Brad.
I'm not on the right Pornhub, I guess.
I guess. In this rewatch, did it hold up for you, do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
It's been 10 years.
I realized that. I don't think it was on the way here, but like I was on Google earlier, or I think I was like disconnecting my Chromecast watching it, and it said 2014, and I went, really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. It's it's a good one. You were saying DiCaprio. What's your thoughts on DiCaprio?
As an actor, I like him. I never saw The Revenant, but I thought that was kind of a random one for him to get an Oscar for. Yeah. But it was kind of like a overdue situation, or at least I think it was. Like I said, I didn't see the movie.
Yeah, it was a fine movie. I don't remember it, but it was just long. Him crawling in the snow.
Right. Yeah, just dirty and hairy, and I'm like, I can get that at home.
Yeah. Like I'll just go outside.
I'll just go in the bathroom.
Yeah. It was like a big thing. Everybody wanted him to win for this movie.
Yeah.
It was. He was.
And it was one of those.
Him and Jonah Hill.
Yes, and I think Jonah Hill. I think they won like Golden Globes and shit.
He might have. Yeah, I don't care about like awards. I don't like.
Honestly, that year and like maybe the 1 or 2 years surrounding it were the only times I ever like actively watched. Only because a lot of good movies came out in that period. Yeah. Like I remember, like Boyhood came out. I really liked Boyhood, so I wanted to see if that won anything.
Birdman came out the same year.
A fucking great movie. I watched that the other day.
Yeah, it's
same director as The Revenant.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you about Birdman actually, so I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah. See, look, we're so connected.
We're in sync.
Yeah.
Dirty Pop.
This is the second Jonah Hill film we've discussed.
This is true. His hair was not as annoying to me as in this one. His teeth stood out, but that was the character, so it's permittable.
And he was always saying, I saw like interviews with him where he was talking about like this was his dream role, and like this was, he got to work with Scorsese, and he got he became good friends with Leo, and so he did good in this movie. It was
absolutely, he fucking crushed it. I loved the last thing I watched before coming here was the lewd scene.
Oh yeah,
where he's like Steve Madden, and I'm like, this is offensive somehow. I know he's on drugs.
Yeah, it was in rewatching it. It did like, I guess my memory of it was like it was the Leo and Jonah Hill movie, but like sort of realizing he didn't have as big of a role as I remembered, and there was so much more to the story that I guess my young brain just like didn't comprehend. Yeah,
I did notice that in my like rewatch this time around. I'm like, this is this man's entire life.
Yeah. Like they started when he was 22, and I was like,
22-year-old.
I don't know if Leo can play a 22-year-old. Yeah, like, nothing against him, but
did you ever see Catch Me If You Can? Also starring. See, he could pass. He did. I think that movie starts with him as like a teenager.
Yeah,
and it was like 2000, so it was way more passable back then.
Yeah, but he couldn't be a 22-year-old in this movie.
No, not quite.
Okay, so story. From interviews I've seen with the real guy,
Jordan Belfort. Yeah,
he's saying that it's like not fairly accurate. It's extremely accurate, but just a lot of liberties were taken.
Right. Yeah. It's
filmmaking wise.
They've embellished because it is a movie.
Right. And I think to the movie's benefit because you know a lot of people remember a lot of those sort of overly dramatized scenes, and you know a lot of people like that.
All the over the top, like everybody in the office is screaming at the top of their lungs stuff. That woman getting her head shaved. Yeah,
but I would say that's a horrible work. I don't know how work gets done in a place like that.
Right, like I thought the whole point of this operation was you screw other people into making calls.
Yeah,
and I've not seen a lot of that.
Yeah. I don't know how they got fucking worked. I don't know how they were making millions if there's just all that screaming and fucking going on.
The cocaine budget versus their like net profit. I'm curious what the ratio is there.
Yeah, we got to look at their balance sheets and just see where I wonder if they classify all the drugs and hookers as liabilities.
That might be public knowledge by now, honestly.
Probably, yeah. We really should have looked into that. That would have made for much more.
The real Jordan's on Twitter right now. You could probably just ask him.
Yeah, probably. I always see him responding to people on TikToks and whatnot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's an active man
online.
That's funny. I think he's like out of jail and stuff, so like
he's living his best life.
Just be good.
Yeah. Okay. What else?
What else is in this movie? Margot Robbie.
Everything's in this movie. Yeah, this was her big break. This was like her big, she was like a, I don't know. She was just...
She showed up at the party after he was already married. I recall that part. He was married to the mother from How I Met Your Mother.
Yes.
I feel so bad.
Milotti.
That's her name. I feel so bad because to me, she's one of those actresses where it's like, you're in things. I've seen you in them. You're great. I just do not know your name. That was like Jennifer Coolidge up until like a year ago.
Okay. Up until White Lotus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kristen Milotti.
Good. Yeah. Great girl.
And Margot Robbie. She was, I think everyone sort of thought of her as just like the hot chick for a while after this. I'm glad to see her like kind of expanding roles. Like she still is like, hot blonde chick, whatever, but she's not just like the hot, like, sexy girl anymore.
Yeah, I think fairly soon after this movie, she did I, Tonya, which was quite a pivot.
Yeah. She was great in that movie.
Yeah, it was great. Great time.
She was great as Harley Quinn, which I think, that's gone now, but... There's a vacuum break.
I noticed during this movie, I'm like, oh, this is the Harley Quinn voice, like straight up.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the thing about her. She's either Australian or Brooklyn. She has no like middle ground.
Wait, that's because her character in this movie is from like Brooklyn or Queens or something. So that's spot on.
She's
Are you going to see Barbie?
I am. I'm looking forward to it. Are you going to do the double feature?
I was just about to ask you that. I'm tempted to.
I am. I haven't gotten the tickets yet.
Okay, you're committed.
I'm gonna. Yeah,
that's awesome.
We're thinking Barbie first, so my girlfriend's entertained, and then Oppenheimer, so that way she can sleep.
Right. I'm very stoked for the Albert Einstein story arc.
Yeah.
of Oppenheimer.
Yeah, his big Tony Stark cameo.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's very fake, but there's like a TikTok or something of like someone recording the trailer in a theater and it's
People
Einstein.
are, like,
People are
cheering.
freaking out.
Yeah.
I'm like, this cannot be real.
You never know. People might be big on Einstein.
That's true. Yeah. Anything
maybe
goes in a movie theater.
The start of the Nolan cinematic history scientist universe. Like there's going to be an end credit scene.
History science theater.
You know, okay, we're going so far off topic now. But did you see the last Kingsman movie?
I did actually. Yeah.
Did you see the end credit scene where Hitler shows up?
I certainly did.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
What
if we had a league of our own?
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you're gonna get someone a cameo in a World War II movie or World War I movie,
you got to go for the stars.
Yeah, you got to big hitters. Yeah, they really thought there was gonna be a second one of those.
I mean, I get it's technically a prequel.
Yeah, well, like they were gonna make a sequel to
sequel. To okay, yeah, that. Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah,
like especially after that, I'm like, where are you going with that?
There's going to be it's going to turn out the Kingsmen were the ones who assassinated Hitler. And
right. I'm like, unless you go full Tarantino with this plot line.
You know what? Now I actually want to see that movie.
I was going to say if they don't stick to accurate history, I would watch that and maybe have a good time.
Okay. One more side tangent, and then we'll go back to this. Actually, no, I'll save that. I'll save that for a different video.
All right.
Because this is such a good side tangent. And I would like to get more in depth into that, but we have to talk Global Wall Street.
That's right. Okay.
What else?
What's in the movie?
Okay.
Who's in the movie?
When I'm watching it, I was a kid when I saw it. I was like teenage. I guess I didn't realize how many sort of bigger stars have smaller roles, like John Bernthal, John Favreau, Bo Dietl.
Rob Reiner?
Rob Reiner plays his dad.
Now, I feel like you're a bigger film guy than me, potentially, most likely.
Yeah.
What is Rob Reiner an actor or a director to you?
He's a director to me just because of that's how he started his directing.
Okay, I'm the same way. So anytime I see him pop up in anything, I'm like, unless you're here to promote something, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
He's a pretty decent actor. Like nothing
against that. Actor. I mean, he just shouts in this movie. That's like his role.
It just takes me out every time because the first time I ever saw Rob Reiner act was him playing himself in the David Spade comedy Dickie Roberts' Former Child Star.
Okay.
So to see him be anybody else, I'm like, wait, you direct.
You're just Rob Reiner. Yeah. Yeah, he is kind of like that, where he's pretty much just playing Rob Reiner in this movie, but just
just that he just happens to be Jordan Belfort's dad.
And it's weird because I saw This Is Spinal Tap for the first time last Thursday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so it was nice. I was like, look at that.
That's fun. Yeah. I've actually never seen it, but it's on my list.
Okay, I think you should have come.
I'm sorry.
I don't think I told you about, but it was.
Was that? No, I think I saw Spider-Verse the week before.
Yeah.
I was like, I swear I had something.
Yeah. No, you saw The Flash last Thursday.
That's right. I did see The Flash.
Yeah. The night I saw This Is Spinal Tap, you saw The Flash, and then I saw The Flash the next. No one cares about this. Okay, yeah. We'll talk Flash later.
Yes, please.
Okay. And then, did you notice Fran Lebowitz plays the judge who sentences him?
Does she really?
Yeah.
I think I did know that, but forgot about it.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is that, Fran Lebowitz? I didn't know who she was when I first saw the movie. And I was
she doesn't have a documentary yet.
Yeah. And her and Scorsese are friends in real life.
That makes sense because they're both New Yorkers.
Yeah.
He
directed that Netflix series she did.
Right.
Which I started to watch, and then I didn't know. I was just like, is she just talking about how much she hates New York? I
think that's what I gathered from it, because I never watched it, but she did a lot of the shows she did her press tour for are shows I watched. So the late night talk shows, The View, all that.
Yeah.
So I got to learn a lot lot it.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Just kind of I'm great in New York.
Yeah. But she was great in this movie. She was great in the 1 minute scene she was in. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this movie is just, it's the definition of excess. It's just like
it's excess
as much
and like
nudity, as much
maybe gluttony,
sex, expensive stuff. And I think, this movie inspired a whole wave of people who just, that's like, they want to be Jordan Belfort now.
That's true. It brought out the alpha chads, I think.
I think so.
It started with Wolf of Wall Street, and then it like truly like took like caught flame with like everything else in the past couple years.
Yeah. I went to business school, so I knew a lot of Jordan Belforts back in my day.
Joseph, have you ever been on a yacht?
Have I? I don't think so.
I don't think I have either.
Unless I have like on like one of those like yacht museums where it'll be like this was an old boat that someone. I don't know if I've been on any of those though. Now that I think about it,
I honestly don't think I have.
There's one in Detroit, and it's like a yacht that they turn into like a restaurant.
That's true. Yeah,
I've never been on it, so I guess no, I've never been on a yacht. Fuck this thing. Hold on. Hold that thought, Brad. I like this momentum, and I gotta see where you're going with this.
I got you.
What were you talking about?
Well, I was just inquiring if you'd ever been on one, because I also have not. I've been on one in Grand Theft Auto.
That counts. Yeah,
I've definitely counts. I don't own one though. In Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
But maybe I'll get there. I'll get there someday. I have to kill a lot of hookers.
Yeah. Maybe you can take some notes from Jordan.
You know what? I'm gonna go finish it when I get home, and I'm hopping online.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get all those fucking 14-year-olds murdered.
Ooh boy, that sounds like fun.
They're talking mean to me. I'm like, you don't know me.
Yeah, I'm a nice guy.
What with the slurs?
I'm on the okayest podcast on the internet,
and I'm like the okayest guy.
Yeah.
Like this is uncalled for.
Sons of bitches. Okay, there was another thing I wanted to bring up, and so we got rudely interrupted by the recorder. Okay, another role that I didn't know about when I was younger was this guy Jean Dujardin, I think is his name, and he plays the Swiss banker that they meet in Switzerland.
Right.
And he's the lead of like this film series called OSS 117, which is like one of my favorite French like movie series is where he plays like a parody of James Bond, and they're shot like 60s films, and it's like actor, and he plays in the film The Artist, and he won Best Picture and Best Actor back in 2011.
Okay, so I know what he looks like in The Artist.
Yeah, he's a great actor, and I didn't realize he was in this movie, and I was like, fucking. What a guy!
what a guy! What a treat!
I was so happy to see him, and he was fucking John Bernthal's wife, and that was kind of cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah. In the movie, not in real life, I hope.
Allegedly.
Do you like John Bernthal?
Do I? Who is he again?
He is the Punisher. He is Shane.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
good guy. I think the only thing I could say I've seen him in more than once is Scott Pilgrim when he plays a vegan policeman.
Is he?
Is that the same guy? You say he's the Punisher? Oh wait, you're talking about New Punisher?
New Punisher.
Oh yes, he is in Wolf of Wall Street. That is correct.
Yeah, he plays Brad. He plays Brad.
Yes, he does play a Brad. I love characters named Brad. They stand out to me. Yes. Now that I know exactly who you're talking about now. Yes, he's a good man. I enjoy his acting. I see the gif of him. I don't know what it's from, but it's like him freaking out.
Oh, he's like, no.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, whatever
That's
that is.
That's from the Punisher.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I only ever got in the Netflix Marvel universe. I only ever got through the first season of Daredevil.
Okay.
I liked it. I just was like, oh, there's too much happening.
Yeah.
Too many shows at once. Drowning.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's all you really need to. That and Jessica Jones. I like Jessica Jones.
I've heard good things about Jessica Jones. I heard good things about what's their Avengers one?
Defenders.
The Defenders. Yeah, I heard it was all right.
Yeah.
Did not hear good things about Iron Fist.
Yeah. That was not great. You know who would really hate Iron Fist?
Who's that?
Martin Scorsese.
That's very true.
Yeah,
not a fan of these Marvel.
It's everything contents. About. He's always going on a talk show like, I just these movies, these theme park movies. That's not a good impression of him, but that's what he says. The theme park movies.
It's spot on. There's Marvel at literally both Disney and Universal Studios.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that. That's funny.
There's I don't remember the exact reason why that is, but it's like some kind of locked in contract thing that Universal has with Marvel. Like, it's like, no, We Have You. And I think it's for the state of Florida because in California at their Disneyland, I believe there's like a Marvel land of some sort.
Like
or
Avenger Campus, I think it's called.
Yeah, Campus. That's right.
I don't know, aside from Punisher, I don't think there's any other superheroes in this movie. So Scorsese, you know, he's living by his word. So.
Leo was supposed to be Spider-Man at one point, I heard.
That is true.
That's
James Cameron Spider-Man.
That's right. I was going to say some other big director was supposed to direct it.
Yeah, James Cameron Spider-Man movie was going to star Leo, and so it's weird.
It's weird, but like after, if you've seen The Flash, you've seen everything come to life at this point that was supposed to happen. So
no, I mean the picture itself. If you read like the leaked script,
oh really?
It's a weird movie.
Oh, I didn't know the script leak. That's fascinating. Who's supposed to be the villain in it? Vulture, probably.
So there's two different versions of it that I've heard. I heard that it was supposed to be Sandman and Electro, and that's why Sandman and Electro never appeared on the Spider-Man cartoon.
Okay.
Was because James Cameron was holding the rights for them.
Okay.
But in the script, Doc Ock is the villain, and I guess he also has spider powers, and he doesn't go by Doc Ock. He's I don't know. It's very strange.
It sounds wild. It sounds like Kevin Smith's Superman.
A little bit, yeah.
He's not Dr. Octopus. He's Professor Spider.
Yeah. I think that's actually what they call him.
I believe it.
And I think there was a scene where Spider-Man is like outside of Mary Jane's apartment while she's changing, and he's like masturbating. There's
that's problematic. I don't want to see Leonardo DiCaprio jacking off, especially at such a young age.
You don't want to see Leonardo DiCaprio in a Spider-Man costume jerking off.
That's also true. Yeah. Just in general.
Yeah, there's like concept art you can see online
in pajamas. Yeah. No. Oh God. Now I'm curious. I'll have to look it up.
Oh boy, rad. Going full Leo Spider-Man.
Not for the jerking off, but just for like how much weirder can it get?
It's a weird movie. But this movie's not weird, even though there's a ton of sex and nudity and drugs and apparently that whole Vegas scene. Did you get to the part where they had the Vegas?
I've seen the Vegas scene. I just didn't watch it today.
And he said in an interview with Logan Paul that entire scene was accurate, and that was that they really did like fuck up that hotel, and that there was just like so much like, you know.
I frown upon it.
Yeah.
One time, one of the last vacations I went on, I went to Florida, and the AC broke, and it like leaked like in my room, and like I felt bad about it. Why? I didn't do it. There was a big old puddle. I'm like, hey. My AC's broken and it's leaking, and they're like, okay, here's a free better view room of the beach for no upcharge since your room broke. I'm like, oh, thank you.
It's a fair trade.
It was very fair. I was like, I'll allow it.
Broken room to better view. That's
Yeah, there was concerns of a hurricane, so I would have been in the front, but also on the third floor.
Okay, so. That's good. Anyways, Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Okay, it's pretty good. Do you think it's Scorsese's best?
Is that Marvel or DC?
Oh man, don't do this to him. Don't do this to Marty. Do you think it's his best picture?
Best.
How many of his pictures have you seen?
I've seen Goodfellas, and it's a good time.
I think Goodfellas is everybody's favorite.
That's the thing, though. I feel like it's like
there was a point in time where people were really big on Wolf of Wall Street. And
like I said, there was a cultural moment for it for sure.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably my favorite because it's out of the like two. I'll give myself a little handicap of 3. Yeah. There's probably one more I have seen that I'm just not thinking of.
Okay.
But out of those 2, at least, it's the preferable one, I would say.
Did you see The Great Gatsby?
I didn't, but I'm like very open to it.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember this came out shortly after The Great Gatsby, and I remember thinking like,
that's true. Yeah.
This is this is kind of like 2 for 2 of Leo playing rich suit men, and I did prefer Great Gatsby because I think he plays like a douchey guy well, but if you want to like relatability wise, I think people would probably prefer a character like Gatsby. I don't fucking know. I mean, what do I? But I enjoyed Gatsby, his character in Gatsby at least more than Jordan Belfort.
I get that because Gatsby, I have not read the book either, but to my knowledge, he's like
charming
compared to Jordan Belfort. He's like not as terrible of a person. Is that accurate, or was he a bad guy the entire time?
He's not like a great person. He's not like the morally great character. You know, he fucks a guy or a good chick who's married to a guy, and it's but he does it for love. He does it because they were meant to be together.
Gotcha.
And then he gets his money in like shady ways, and he does die at the end. But it's unjustified why he dies.
Gotcha.
So it's a great story.
It sounds a bit more tragic.
Yeah. But yeah, this Wolf of Wall Street picture, it definitely is one of those pictures that you see it and you're just like, they really did something with this one.
I know. I see that picture. I go, that's one hell of a picture.
Yeah.
I love a JPEG.
Oh, boy. Just the fucking scale of the movie itself is impressive. Like, if you see behind the scene, like, footage where it's just Leo and he's, like, talking to the camera, and then in the background, 10,000 people, like, beating the shit out of each other and jerking off and
right,
tits.
They're just all doing shit. It's very impressive.
Yeah, it's really impressive how, Scorsese was able to... And a lot of this movie was improvised, which is...
That is true,
kind of surprising for Scorsese, because he's a real, like, director where he's just like
he's kind of classic film director. He's like one of the greats, like, can't debate that.
I mean, I think for the way the film is, like, the type of film that it is, I think it really benefits by being improvised, because you feel like this is just how people would talk in this situation.
100%.
Where they're high on coke and they just fucked and they're freaking out about money and they're just like, this fucking guy, like, So I feel like it really does work in a picture like this.
For sure. And in improv, really, you want to have a group that can kind of feed off of each other's energy and yes and I feel like that group specifically with Leo DiCaprio and Jonah Hill. Everyone else, I know there's the Asian gentleman. I know he's on 911 on Fox. He's lost a lot of weight since Wolf of Wall Street, which I found interesting.
All their kind of like guys are like these kind of greasy looking guys, and they're all like comedy actors, and they're all great. Leo, he's not necessarily known for improvising. Jonah Hill more so, just because of the type of pictures he's been in.
I think Knocked Up was like mostly improvised.
But Leo does do a good job, but it does kind of seem like he's more reading lines or like doing character work than the rest of them are.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially Jonah Hill. He just feels like Jonah Hill, but with an accent.
I agree. It's him in a costume.
Yeah, not that he was bad in the role. He was great in the role, but it's just like that's the type of character he plays.
Yeah, he actually ate that goldfish too, which was wild. He's good at the over the top fucking shut the fuck up, man, I'll fuck you up kind of character, and he nails it every time, in my opinion.
It does kind of bother me sometimes in movies when characters excessively swear, not because but it's just because it doesn't sound right. It sounds like they're trying to swear just to swear.
Yeah, I get that with like I get that with stand-up specials too.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're relying on the fuck word too much, guy.
Yeah, or like The Boiz. Do you watch The Boiz?
I've started The Boiz. I don't have Amazon. I Amazon Prime, so I'm trying my best.
It feels like they're just like, oh, you fuckity fuck, like I'll kick your fucking shitty ass, you dumb bitch, and it's just like
they're trying like too hard.
5 of those, swears you didn't need to say.
Right.
I know it's like edgy or like cool or whatever, but
yeah, I guess that's what they're going for. Like, oh, superheroes, but R-rated.
But we're assholes. We're fucking assholes. And it's just like, all right,
pretty much.
People don't talk like that in real life.
Not really, no. If they do, it's in like few and far between.
Yeah.
It's like, no, the one guy you met one time.
Yeah. Especially, like, I didn't think about it much during the movie, but the scene where Rob Reiner comes in and he's like, $20,000 on fucking a meal. And I was like, I know you're like, that's what you're doing.
Right. I know you're excited.
Yeah, but that's not how people talk.
His scene where he's answering the phone and he's like missing watching the episode of The Equalizer. That one might be of the Rob Reiner scene in the movie. That one's my favorite, just because he's like all pissy, and then he's the fake British accent thing. That like that like hit home for me for some reason, because I have relatives who like if they're like telling a story, they won't like change like their personality or anything, but they'll put on this like interesting accent, and it's like, oh, you're Scottish. I have relatives on both sides actually, so if they happen to be watching this, don't feel singled out. And if you feel singled out, work on it.
Ooh, Brett's taking shots. I don't know. Anything else about this movie you want to say?
I've never done cocaine.
Neither have I.
This doesn't make me want to do it, honestly.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure there's people who saw this movie and were like, oh, we gotta try drugs now.
Oh, I absolutely guarantee that. But people were like, we gotta find lewds. And I love the part of the movie where like, oh, you want to find lewds? You want to find lewds, little dumbass?
Yeah.
They stopped making lewds.
Don't do drugs. That's our message in this episode.
Don't. They're bad. You'll turn out like Jordan Belfort, rich, with a yacht and an internet
Margot
following. Margot Robbie and, oh God, the mother from How I Met Your Mother.
Kristen
Milani. God bless you, Kristen.
All right, we'll see you guys.
We'll see you guys.
Big peace.